Welcome back, Cowboys Nation. Today's episode is absolutely loaded with major developments, explosive headlines, and inside drama that's got the entire NFL world buzzing. From the growing speculation about the Cowboys' potential interest in trading for George Pickens, to Jerry Jones finally breaking his silence on the trade deadline, and Micah Parsons stepping up in defense of his teammate Trevon Diggs, there's no shortage of fireworks in Dallas. The Cowboys have officially entered one of the most crucial moments of the season, and every word, every rumor, every quote coming out of the locker room feels like a glimpse into a team trying to balance championship ambition with real locker room challenges. Let's start with the story that's got every Cowboys fan talking: George Pickens and the trade speculation that's erupted around him. Over the last few days, several NFL media outlets and insiders have been suggesting that the Dallas Cowboys could be an ideal landing spot for the talented but frustrated Steelers wide receiver. Pickens, known for his big playability and emotional personality, has reportedly grown increasingly unhappy in Pittsburgh's offense. The Steelers have been struggling to get him consistent targets, and his frustration has spilled over on the sidelines. Videos showing Pickens visibly upset after games and even removing Steelers-related posts from his social media accounts have fueled a storm of speculation. And now, as the trade deadline approaches, the rumor mill is linking him with Dallas, a team in desperate need of a true vertical threat to complement CeeDee Lamb and bring more dynamism to Dak Prescott's passing attack. Cowboys media personalities, former players, and even some local beat reporters have started throwing around the idea that Dallas should make a move for Pickens. The reasoning is simple: the Cowboys' offense has looked stagnant and inconsistent. CeeDee Lamb has been phenomenal, but without a reliable W2, defenses can key in on him, leaving Dak Prescott limited in his options. Michael Gallup hasn't looked like his old self, Brandon Cooks has yet to truly explode, and the tight ends haven't been able to pick up the slack. Adding someone like Pickens, who can stretch the field, make contested catches, and bring that alpha mentality, could transform this offense overnight. But as always, the question remains: would Jerry Jones be willing to pull the trigger on a bold move like this? That brings us directly to the next major development. Jerry Jones himself finally addressed the topic of potential trades and deadline moves during his latest appearance on 105.3 The Fan, and as always, he chose his words carefully. Jerry made it clear that while he's always looking for ways to improve the team, he doesn't anticipate the Cowboys making a headline-grabbing move at the deadline. He emphasized that Dallas believes in its current roster and coaching staff, pointing to the team's internal development rather than external additions. But here's where things get interesting. Jones' comments were laced with his classic hints and contradictions. He mentioned that he's received calls from multiple teams, that he's open to creative opportunities, and that the Cowboys front office is always ready to act if the right situation presents itself. In Jerry speak, that's as close as you'll get to an open invitation for trade discussions. Behind the scenes, sources around the league suggest that Dallas has indeed been monitoring the receiver market. There's no doubt the Cowboys have been exploring potential upgrades, not just at wide receiver, but also on the defensive line and secondary. The name George Pickens keeps coming up because of his upside, his youth, and the fact that he's still on his rookie deal, a huge advantage for cap management. The Cowboys have always been cautious with their cap flexibility, and a player like Pickens could give them elite talent without the financial burden of a veteran contract. It's also worth noting that Dak Prescott has been quietly pushing for more weapons. He's a competitor, and he knows that in today's NFL, firepower wins championships. If the Cowboys truly believe they're contenders this season, then adding a receiver like Pickens could be the kind of move that signals to the entire league that Dallas is going all in. While trade rumors swirl and fans debate whether Jerry Jones will actually make a move, another big story hit the headlines when Micah Parsons once again showed why he's not just a leader on the field but also a vocal defender of his teammates off it. Over the past week, Trevon Diggs, who has been sidelined with a torn ACL, has been catching heat from parts of the media and social media critics. Some claim that Diggs' absence has exposed the Cowboys' defense, and even suggested that the team might be better off without him due to his aggressive, risk-taking style of play. Parsons wasn't having any of that. The All-Pro linebacker fired back, passionately defending Diggs and calling out what he described as disrespectful narratives targeting injured players. In a post-game interview, Parsons said, "People forget too fast. Trevon is one of the best in the world at what he does. We ride together, win or lose. I don't want to hear any disrespect for my brother." Micah's comments lit up social media, showing once again that he's the emotional core of this Cowboys defense. He's not just putting up Defensive Player of the Year numbers, he's also become the spiritual leader of the locker room. Parsons has made it clear that the bond among Dallas defenders runs deep, and even when key pieces go down, they rally around each other. In the NFL, that kind of chemistry can make the difference between a good defense and a great one. Parsons knows that if the Cowboys are going to make a legitimate playoff push, it's going to take unity and trust, not finger-pointing and outside noise. His message was simple: this team stands together, and anyone questioning their commitment doesn't understand what's happening inside that building. The timing of all this drama couldn't be more intense. The Cowboys are approaching the midpoint of the season with a record that's good but not great, a team that's clearly talented enough to compete but still trying to prove it can beat elite competition. The defense has been their identity, but the offense remains under scrutiny. Dak Prescott has had flashes of brilliance, but he's also faced growing criticism for inconsistency, especially in big games. That's why the idea of adding a weapon like George Pickens feels so tempting to fans. It could be the missing spark that balances this team out. But at the same time, Jerry Jones' cautious approach is starting to frustrate sections of the fanbase who feel like Dallas is always one step away from greatness but never takes that final leap. Cowboys Nation has seen this story before. Every year, as the trade deadline approaches, fans dream of a blockbuster move that finally propels the team over the hump. And every year, Jerry Jones talks about being aggressive in spirit while ultimately standing pat. But this year feels a little different. The NFC landscape is wide open. The 49ers have looked vulnerable, the Eagles have been inconsistent, and the Lions are still untested in high-pressure playoff scenarios. Dallas has a real opportunity to make noise, but to do that, they need to sharpen their offensive edge. Even if a Pickens deal doesn't materialize, there's a growing belief among insiders that Dallas could explore smaller, strategic moves, perhaps adding depth to the offensive line, a rotational pass rusher, or a physical slot receiver to balance the offense. At the same time, it's impossible to ignore the emotional pulse of this team. Parsons' defense of Diggs was more than just a show of loyalty, it was a reminder of what makes this locker room special. These players have been through adversity together, and they built a brotherhood that's not easily shaken by media narratives. That's something even Jerry Jones acknowledged in his comments, noting that the team's chemistry is one of its greatest assets. In a league where locker room culture can make or break a season, the Cowboys seem to have found a balance between talent and trust. Parsons' leadership, Dak's steady presence, and the energy from young players like Darren Bland and Osa Odigizua have given this team an identity that feels more mature and focused than in past years. Still, the questions linger. Can Dallas truly compete with the NFC's best when it matters most? Can the offense find its rhythm in time for a playoff push? And will Jerry Jones finally back up his words with action at the trade deadline? The next few days could define the Cowboys season. If they make a move, whether for Pickens or another impact player, it would send a powerful message that Dallas is all in. But if they stand pat once again, it'll be up to Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott to prove that this current roster has what it takes to win as is. The tension is real, the stakes are high, and the Cowboys are right in the middle of it. Between the rumors of George Pickens possibly wearing the star, Jerry Jones' cryptic trade comments, and Micah Parsons going to bat for his teammates, This week has reminded everyone why Dallas is the most talked about franchise in football. Every move, every word, every whisper turns into national news, and that's exactly how Jerry likes it. Whether or not a deal happens, one thing's for sure: the Cowboys are going to keep everyone guessing right up until the deadline clock hits zero. And as the story unfolds, fans will be watching every press conference, every insider report, and every social media post, searching for signs of what's next. The Cowboys thrive in chaos, and this week is no exception. Will George Pickens be the next big name to join America's team? Will Jerry Jones surprise us all with a last-minute trade? Or will the team double down on the belief that their current group has what it takes to finally make that long-awaited Super Bowl run? The answers are coming soon, and the entire football world will be watching. Thanks for watching, Cowboys Nation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the latest Dallas drama, from Jerry Jones' trade deadline teases to Micah Parsons' powerful defense of Trevon Diggs, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the breaking updates coming your way. This story is far from over, and we'll be here to cover every twist, turn, and trade rumor as it happens. Stay tuned, and as always, go Cowboys.